Good evening, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Livetalk, The Connection, a platform where we discuss issues affecting young people. We are coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. This Tuesday, September the 26th, 2023. I am Tungamili Nkomo. Tonight, we are talking to some of the young office bearers who won in the parliamentary and council elections last month. But first, let's start here in Washington. Climate change is the dominant concern for the Pacific Islands Forum leaders who met with U.S. President Joe Biden yesterday. While the White House focuses on other regional threats like China's increased ambitions on the high seas, Biden made millions of dollars worth of commitments that will need congressional approval. VOA's Anita Powell reports.
President Joe Biden began this year's summit of Pacific Island nations with an apology and an acknowledgement. First, giving his regrets for canceling a visit to Papua New Guinea in May amid domestic political drama, and then hailing U.S. diplomatic recognition of the Cook Islands and the tiny island nation of Niue. He also focused on the climate concerns identified by the 18 Pacific Island Forum nations and pledged funds for climate assistance and infrastructure.
We hear your warnings of a rising sea and what they pose an existential threat to your nations. We hear your calls for reassurance that you never, never, never will lose your statehood or membership of the UN as a result of a climate crisis.
These 18 member states have been battlegrounds of colonial conquest for centuries. The Cook Islands, for instance, are named after the intrepid Captain James Cook, the British adventurer who in the late 18th century violently conquered indigenous lands across the wide expanse of the Pacific from Australia to Canada for the Crown. That's something not lost on Prime Minister Mark Brown of the Cook Islands, who emphasized the relationship his country seeks with the world superpower.
We have an opportunity here, as the Pacific Islands Forum and as the United States, to develop our partnerships for prosperity.
But there's one name none of the leaders uttered in their public comments. Analysts say that China's increased ambitions, such as its security pact with the Solomon Islands, whose leaders skipped the Washington summit, is part of the calculation for the United States' increased engagement. But not all of it.
The United States has been one of the most recalcitrant countries in the world on looking at the question of financing for climate adaptation. If you're an island in the Pacific dealing with rapidly rising sea levels and storm surges and increase in frequency of major storms, climate adaptation is the issue. It's existential. And so that's the real front lines of the conversation between the Pacific Islands and the West, especially the United States.
But those who watch that wide expanse of ocean say there is one thing the leader of the world's wealthiest nation cannot promise: money. That's up to Congress, the elected body currently embroiled in a political standoff over funding. If members don't resolve that by month's end, the U.S. government will shut down.
The U.S. made a lot of commitments last year in its first ideas, very sensible proposals. The big challenge is that once it went up to Congress, things got snagged, and I think that's the issue that all sort of commitments that the White House makes in this or in anything else is going to face, which is making sure that Congress approves it.
These leaders will likely have a chance to discuss that among themselves when they meet again in November without Biden in the Cook Islands. Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.
VOA Anita Powell reporting. Now back to our main topic. Though the exact numbers are still unclear, indications are that last month's election saw more youths than ever before being elected as councillors and members of parliament. This should be good news for other young people who are now looking up to their peers to advance their cause in decision-making processes, both at the national level in the legislature and local authorities. One of the new young leaders is 25-year-old Masvingo Mayor Chantel Chiwara of the opposition Triple C. Here she is talking to our correspondent Godfrey Mutimba after being sworn into office last week.
Guta remasvingo vanoti first citizen ndichidawo kutenda makanselas mama ndinoshanda nawo akaona zvakanaka kuti vandisarudze ndive ndiri pakati pechigaro ichocho ndiri mukati mavo. Inini semusikana wechidiki wongu every basa rinoshanganikwa naro nematambudziko rinosanganikwa naro, but ndiri kuti I'm ready to accept the challenges that comes with this position. I'll brace myself ndogona kuita deliver what we have promised the citizens and the ratepayers of Masvingo. I want to do this in Rindega. Ndiashanda nemamwe makanselas angozi basa racho nokuti rigamuchirike kuti ridilivhike rinoda
the newly elected mayor of the city of Victoria Falls. Let's take a short break. Stay tuned.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
Abasanda Guskluma, this is Live Talk, The Connection, coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. Tonight, we are talking to some of the young politicians who won in the just ended elections. We are streaming live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We are also live on YouTube at VOA Zimbabwe. We are now joined by our guests. That's Nonhlanhla Mlotshwa, Triple C Senator for Matabeleland South, and Ashford Govoriro, a ZANU-PF activist. Good evening, lady and gentlemen. And let me... Thank you so much. Let me start off by... I'm not sure who is in a noisy place there. Maybe Mamloja or Ashford. If you can move to a quieter place, if you can. And let me start off by congratulating Senator Mlotshwa. You are now a senator, Mamloja. What are you promising to especially young people of Zimbabwe? You are a young person yourself.
Thank you very much. Good evening. I'm grateful to the people of South for entrusting me, a young person, to stand for them in the Senate of Zimbabwe. I can gladly tell you there can't be nothing for young people without the young people. There can't be anything for women without women. So I not only represent young people, I represent young people. I'm glad that not only do I represent them, but I'm an inspiration for that young person in Matopo, in Bulilima, in Siza, Eslalachane, in Plumtree, in Bedbridge, in Umzingwane, that it is possible, it can be done, that a village girl can come from being a village girl to go and represent the people. There is a lot that needs us. A lot of legislation that goes through Parliament, it does nothing for the young people, and us, the young people, need now to stand up. We are the ones who have younger children at schools, and if the education system is affected, our children are affected. We are the ones who go and use the public health systems, which are almost dilapidated and unusable. And I am telling you, we are the same ones who want to buy cars and are buying cars and on roads that are not usable. So I can tell you, young people, that it's okay for us to stand up and for our voices to be heard and for representation. I'm there to represent the young people. I'm there to represent the young women. I'm there to represent the village people. I am there to represent that village girl, that it is possible, it's doable if you keep on pushing. Thank you.
Thank you there, Mamloja, and please do stay on the line. Coming to you, Koma Govoriro. We are seeing a lot of young people who were elected from the opposition Triple C. What's the situation like in ZANU-PF in your party?
Yeah, tinotenda nemukana matipa masorasi isusu ZANU-PF tinofara kuti ZANU-PF as a party inovhaliwa my young people, both Chikatarsa, even cabinet, Esona President Udin Nangago, Lagaisa, Van HDTF, my ministers, as my deputy ministers, then to change of the ZANU-PF, you go to Notar Cinema affiliates, and my young people, like we've got young women in business, Ranana, my comrade Apia. We've got young women, food, Ranana, now the youngest food minister of Apple, Tatinda Magatir. Saka, the ZANU-PF was value of my youth is to America co-opposition, and Qatar is even my MPs, Akamira, vemayouth tine nhamba zhinji yakamira yakakombedza kuti inge ichikwanisa kuita ma-mp and vakawina the likes of vana comrade tatemangwadi. Then mukatarisa kuti futi nekusati kwaitwa by-election John Karadza anova mukuru wemayouth achimira futi wekuti mayouth vana comrade chinoma chakaire. Saka kuZANU-PF kunovhaliwa mayouth usingaiti because President Eden Mnangagwa vanotaura kuti future belongs to the youth. Saka isusu tinotofara kubato reZANU-PF nezviri kuita President Eden Mnangagwa kupfurikidza nekusimudzira mayouth.
Aiwa tinotenda chadzoka kwamuri vaguvuriro. And let's now go to our third guest. That's the mayor of Masvingo, Chantel Chiwara. Miss Mayor, good evening and welcome to Live Talk.
Good evening, how are you?
We are fine, thank you, and congratulations on your election.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you have a big responsibility on your shoulder. Masvingo is a very big city with a lot of challenges. What are some of the most pressing issues are you tackling right now for the people of Masvingo?
What are some of them?
I'm saying, what are some of the major issues that you are tackling currently, right away, issues that you are fixing that are affecting the city?
I think I'm having some major challenges inside. I can't hear you.
Okay, ndati ndemapi matambudziko muri kusangana nawo mudhorobha sameya mutsva amuri kutarisira kunge muchigadzirisa? I think we have a connection, a problem there with Chantel Chiwara, the young mayor of Masvingo. She's 25, I think, but we will try to reconnect with her. Ngize kuwe Senator Mlotshwa, ematebeleleni South lakho siyazi kukhona okuhluphayo kunengi, kodwa njengomuntu osakhulayo siyazi iZimbabwe ile youth policy angazi khona yasebenza kahle kumbe, kodwa each country has a youth policy. Kungapi lapho okusilela khona okhangelela ukuthi hayi njengoba lawo usungenele esikhundleni usunguseneta uzazama ukuthi uphushe leyo policy ibe ngumthetho, kube ngumthetho ukuze abasakhulayo abanye bathuthuke babe sezingeni eliphezulu?
Ngingatsho ukuthi kulesizungu nxa abanye bakho bengekho eduze lawe, ikakhulu abantu abasha. Mina ngikubona kuyisizungu kakhulu and kuyinto kuyisifiso sami ukuthi ngasonke sisebenzele ukuthi abantu abatsha bayibambe le ndima, ngoba abantu abadala soze behlale bekhona. Siyakufisa lokho. Akula lizwe elabantu abatsha kodwa bengaparticipate in anything njengelethu because abantu abadala bayabavalela ukuthi babe lapho. So ngitsho ukuthi njengoSenator Mlotshwa, njengoSenator weMass-South, to everybody else who knows me and that I've recruited to join, that I've recruited to join the movement or just to participate with politics, kuyikuthi ngiyafisa ukuthi abantu abatsha babe khona endimeni lesihamba ngayo. So ngakho-ke ngizayenza konke okusemandleni ami ngi-advocate, ngicele futhi labanye abakuZANU-PF abatsha ukuthi lokho kuyimithetho yasekhaya abatsha asiyimeleni sisonkeni, singayimeli simeli bandla, but simele abanye bethu abafisa ukuyenza into eziningi kakhulu. So kulokho kwe-youth ngiyabathembisa abantu abatsha ukuthi sabamela sibili ngempela akusonto esizayiyekela ngoba kulesizungu ngapha ngaphezulu abantu abadala bafuna ukuphatha ngendlela yabo. Ngathi silembono yethu ngibone ngani iZimbabwe in terms of development sisemuva kakhulu ukuthi amanye ama-counterparts wethu kwamanye amazwe sebehambe izitepe ezithe gaga at 43 kumele ngase sihambe sayafika kwelinye izinga kwelinye ibanga but siloku sihambele emuva kakhulu kuyenziwa ukuthi lathi singabantu abatsha sihambele emuva kulezi zinto lezi. So mainly I hope to inspire and I hope ukuthi abantu abatsha labo bazalandela kulezo ndawo and want to take part, want to participate and want to see ukuthi ikudala.
Siye ku mnumzana Guvuriro. Koma Guvuriro ndezvipi mataura kuti mucabinet kuna vechidiki futi mataura nezvatendai Mavetera, minister wetechnology, tambowedza kutaura navo vamboti tivatumire mawhatsapp tikavabata ipapo asi havana kuzopindura. Asi semunhu wechidiki vaGuvuriro, mune maministers echidiki, mune maMPs echidiki, ndezvipi zvamuri kushuvirawo semunhu wechidiki kuona vamwe venyu vachizvigadzirisa?
Tinotenda nezvamabvunza. Inini wechidiki chandinotarisira kusimudzira nekuvandudzwa kweupenyu kwevana vechidiki kurikidza kumayuthi edu. Chatinotarisira kuona mayuthi achionekwa achinopiwa minda, kuoneka mayuthi achinopiwa migodhi yemamaini. Chatinotarisira kuona mayuthi achivandudzwa upenyu hwavo kupfurikidza needucation, kuti vawanikwe mayuthi edu achiwanikwa achinovayo maproducer kana mamanufacturers ezvinhu zvakasiyana siyana, kuti mayuthi edu agara achingova bhizi asawanikwa achiita zvemadrugs. Saka chatinongokurudzira maministers edu isusu kuti vave nemind yeinnovation yekuti mayuthi edu ave mainnovators. Tikadaro tinenge tapedza. Saka chatinotarisira kuti ichi province tisati taenda kunational ngatingotanga paprovince. Ichi province ngaive nemaproject emayuthi. Kana kuri kumasvingo province example, tinotarisira kuti kumasvingo province kunorimwa nzimbe, kunoitwa zvakati. Totarisa kuti isusu pamasvingo province takutarisa kuti kana masvingo province ine 5,000 hectares zeland isiri occupied, takutaura kuti tombopawo 3,000 hectares kumayuthi orima nzimbe nezvimwe zvakasiyana siyana. Tenda kumatebeleland choita the same. Kana uchitiwa zvecattle ranging toona kuti mayuthi edu apiwa space yekuita cattle ranging. Tikaenda kumashonaland tinotarisa the same kuti mayuthi edu kunorimwa fodya, tomapa mahectares mangani kuti arimewo fodya ave occupied ange achiita mari. Todzoka mutauni muHarare totarisa kuti chii chinoitwa chinhu chatinoda kuti mayuthi edu aite, toita the same. Saka chatinokurudzira kati chatinotarisira semayuthi kuti mayuthi edu ngave empowered, ave busy, asiyane nemadrugs and asiyane nekuitiswa nemapolitician, but azive kuti ramangwana rakakosha. Madhara ava kuenda but future ndedu isusu mayuthi.
Well said there. Mkoma Guvuriro, mamlotsha uGuvuriro ukhulume ngendaba yomhlabathi lapho ukuthi abasakhulayo kabaphiwe umhlabathi balime. Kanti ukhulume njalo ngendaba yama-mines. Emathebeleleni South siyazi udaba lwabotsheketsha ludaba oluhluphayo kakhulu. Abanye bagcina sebefela emgodini lapho abaphanda khona igolide, imigodi dangerous kakhulu lapho abangamelanga babe khona. Ludaba oluhlupha kanganani nxa ukuground wenu ulubona lolu njalo ukhangelela ukuluphatha njani?
Mina ngombono wami ngibone ngani uhulumende kumele aregularize ama-small miners. Njalo aqakathekise, akubone kuqakathekile ukuthi i-safety yabo ibuya kuqala. Okokuqala engubonayo. Okwesibili, ngibone ngani niya-advocatela njalo ukuthi thina singabantu bemathebeleland sinje siyazazi ukuthi sile golide. Kodwa igolide lakhona thina kungani asitholi lutho kulo singabantu bakhona. Umhlaba uphiwa lapho uphiwa khona, uthi uphiwa lapho uphiwa khona abantwana bethu, abanawa bethu bafela emgodini besebenza bengelamgodi. Siyakufisa ukuthi ngathi kuthiwa imgodi umhlaba wemathebeleland ubenefit abantu bemathebeleland. Bese kusithi umphakathi wemathebeleland uphinde ubenefite futhi from lezo zimayini lezo esizibona lapha. Liyaphuma igolide kuyamayinwa and siyafisa ukuthi ngathiwa sinemathebeleland sile kuyibenefit kwethu esikutholayo ukuthi at least umhlaba lo uphuma kithi abantu bethu bengaziboni bebaleka besiya kubogoli besiya ngaphi besebenzisa umhlaba esilawo. Ukhumbule njalo babunkomo ukuthi thina asilali izulu eliningi, kuthi ukuthi singelazulu eliningi asikwazi ukuthi sidepende ekulimeni ngezulu. Kuthi ukuthi uhulumende mina kubona ukuqhakathekile futhi ukuqhakathekisa ukuthi ugejwe amadamu abe maningi lama-irrigation systems abe maningi ngoba ukudla kuyashota kuyasilela emathebeleland. Ukukhangezwa akusonto yethu, asonto esiyijayeleyo, asonto esiyithandayo, asonto esiyifunayo. Singabantu sifuna ukuzenzela. Nxa kungaba le ndlela yokuthi kugejwe amadamu abantu bazitholela ukudla kwabo okumele bakuthole ngoba lokho kokuholelwa kuholwa futhi isikhathi eziningi along party line. So lokho kuyinto engithinta kakhulu indaba yomhlaba. Iyangithinta ngoba sinjalo sinje sihlala singazazi ukuthi sikhona emhlabeni kumbe sikho. So indaba enye futhi engenza ukuthi ngisukume ngithi ngimela abantu emathebeleland, especially bemathebeleland sa.
Ndidzokere kwamuri mkoma Guvoriro. Mataura ne nyaya ya netsa munyika nyaya yema drugs yezvinodhaka. Hurumende mungati iri kuita zvakakwana here kurwisana nedambudziko iri?
Ya, ndingati hurumende iri kuzama by all means kuti inge ichirwisa nyaya dzemadrugs. Nekuti tikatarisa kuti kupurisa even nekupolisi vanepawo noita mopashunga nevanhu vanoita nezvemadrugs. Even though tichizowanawo dzimwe nhini dzinenge dziri kupolisi dzakatemerwa nyora dzecorruption, vanowanikwa vachizoti kune vanoita zvemadrugs havasa vasunge vowanikwa vachivadhivhidza mari. Saka tinongokumbirawo ndechekuti vamatanga idzipi matanga nekupolisi kwavo ikoko nevamwe vanoona nezvekuchengetedzwa kwemutemo munyika vakawanikwa vachibata nokuvatevedzera vision yemutungamiri wenyika, shuwa tinowanika nyaya dzemadrugs dzichinopera. Tisati taenda nekupolisi futi even nemusuwo mucommunity matinogara tikawanikwa tichida kurwisa nyaya yemadrugs inowanikwa ichinopera. Kuti ndikaona kuti panext door pangu pari kuitwa zvekutengesa madrugs, ndikaenda kupolisi ndikanoripota kuti ngana ari kutengesa madrugs, ndinofanira kutevera nyaya ndona kuti shuwa mapurisa ave areita atora hapana chotengeswa madrugs. Ndikaona mwana ari mustreet akastika, ndikamutora ndoenda naye kupolisi kumeka shuwa mwanadi asungwa. Saka ndizvo zvinhu zvinenge zvichifanira kungoitika.
Thank you the Abaguburiro. Mamlocha akusivhalela uhlelo ngamafitshane. Your last word to abanye abasakhulayo abafana lawe labanye nje abakhangelele kuwe njengosenator.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu babunkomo, ngibonga ukuthi ngibe kulohlelo. Ngithanda ukuthi ngithi mina siyimathebeleland sikhangelane lama-challenges amaningi kakhulu. Abalisela lokuba le-inadequate infrastructure, limited access to the most basic things, ukuthi kwamanye amazwe ezinye izinto zi-basic. So mina ngithi ilizwi lami alizwakale likhuluma okufiswa ngabantu emathebeleland. Siyafisa ukuthi sihambe emgwaqweni elungileyo, siyafisa njalo ukuthi izibhedlela zethu zilunge, siyafisa ukuthi izikolo zilunge, siyafisa ukuthi kube lama-vocational training centers, abantwana baphume, abanye basemgodini futhi nkomo bancane kakhulu, ababuyele esikolo bayefunda. Kube le ndawo zokuthi igolide leli elembiwa emathebeleland liphinde li-edwe futhi ivalwe emathebeleland, kuvulwa amakhampani emathebeleland ukuthi igolide leli liyencedisa, kwakuvulwa amakhampani kusetshenzwe futhi kusemathebeleland. Njalo siyaziwa futhi ngokuthi emathebeleland south kule nkomo, so inkomo zethu azisebenzele kube le-cold storage commission emathebeleland.
Siyabonga Mamlocha, isikhathi do. Thanks to our guest Nonhlanhla Mlocha, Triple C Senator for Mathebeleland South, and Also thanks to Ashford Goboriro, ZANU-PF active